Alright everybody, we're back again with another one in the garage. I actually have the Jeep in the garage at the house instead, here with Morty. So we're going to take this bumper off so we can put the tow hitch on and put this bumper on, because this one actually has damage down here and over here. So we're not going to be worried about saving this one too much. But I did find out that right here on the inside, it does have a 10 millimeter nut with a bolt and everything holding that in. So I'm going to have to replace this plastic piece from the one that's on this one. So that's something that I'm going to have to save off from this one so I can replace it on there, so I can be able to put that back on. But I did also find out we got a tire sensor that keeps going. So these are the tire sensors actually in the cap and on the inside of the cap, and then down here is another sensor. So we got 1, 2 on and 3 that's on. This one was replaced with a regular valve stem, so that's why our tire sensor keeps going. But one of the common problems that I've been finding with these is underneath, when you go and look at the spare tire underneath, right there is the valve stem. You can see that that is sticking out. That is not supposed to be sticking out of there like that. It's supposed to be a valve stem all the way down through. So the problem is that it's rotted away for over half of it because there wasn't a valve stem cover on it. So we're gonna work on getting new valve stems and everything, and with the sensors and all, so we can stop having a tire pressure sensor going off on that side. But we're gonna get to taking this back off, taking this bumper off, and up here you can actually see, possibly, hold on, turn on the flash here. There's supposed to be a plastic piece inside there, right up there. There's supposed to be sitting a plastic piece that is right there, and this one does not have it. So somebody's removed this bumper before and put it back on, but they didn't put that back on. So that's one of the good things of why we're switching the whole bumper. But like I always try to say, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notifications to be able to keep up with all of our adventures of learning how to fix our Jeep. Because it's a learning process for me too. We've never had a Jeep, an 05 Grand Cherokee Laredo. So, and we're doing the work, trying to do it ourselves so we can learn how to do it. And that's why we have 2 other ones, so then we have parts for it. So make sure you like, subscribe, and keep going. And Sundays are normally paranormal days. I don't always get to do one on Sundays, but I do at least 3 times a month of paranormal investigations on Sundays. So stay tuned for those, and make sure you check out all of our playlists. We have multiple playlists, so make sure you check them out. And we're getting bigger. We're actually working on getting a website built as well. So we'll have merch and all of that stuff. We'll be able to put, you'll be able to put anything. We're making a bunch of merch. And we got the Badlands 2,000 pound trailer winch, utility trailer winch, which I'm getting some snatch blocks and stuff like that for it, so then I can be able to make it that it will be able to pull more than 2,000 pounds. Every snatch block doubles it, makes it from 2,000 to 4,000 with one snatch block. 2 snatch blocks makes it 6,000, and so on. So it adds another 2,000 pounds of pole for every snatch block, and so we're going to be working on those and working on a lot of things, because we've had a lot of people get stuck out here in Maine in the winter and in the mud season. So we'll be able to do winch outs to start with and work our way up. We're in recovery from addiction for 3 years, both Randy and I. 3 years and a month almost. Tomorrow will be 3 years and 1 month. So recovery strong, and we'll be able to, we're trying to get everything going and get started, get our own business going and get doing what we do, and trying to build from nothing to something. So stay tuned and keep watching so you can watch the process of building from nothing to something. And let's get into getting this done. Luckily, I got some cardboard down here, so I got cardboard kneel on. It's hot out, so I got shorts on. But I'm going to be pulling, there's a pin, pretty sure, right there. I'm going to be pulling that one. Then I'm going to pull this one and that one over there. And these ones, most people drill them out, but you don't have to drill them out. You can use one of these plastic pin pullers, just like right here. Oh, and just pop it right out. And then it's done. The plastic rivets, so you can pop them just out. Alright, back to what we were doing here. Wait a second to find the tools that I had. It was right here somewhere. Right there. It was right behind me. Let's get to this. I already popped one of those off. The other one's right here. Some people drill them out, like I said, but they pop right off just the same. So, and they're back. Some customer showed up for the garage, so I had to go talk with them for a minute, make sure they were situated. There's that. Another one there. There's one back here. If I could get this one off. It's easier just to pull the panels off to be able to get underneath, because in behind this panel over here is where the 10 millimeter is needed. So be able to get that once we get the panel off. And we got plenty of extra clips kicking around here, so I'm not as worried about them. There's that. What we're putting on has a mud flap, so there's that. Need both hands here to pop this down and off. There we go. Just like so. Morty, be good. You can tell that's been off before. But there's that panel. So right in here is where the 10 millimeter is, which I have that all set up. The puppy's inside. Alright. I got 10 millimeter right here. So, see if I can see this. I think I want to show you all what I'm talking about. So there's those ones right there, which I need the grabber for as well. But right there is the 10 millimeter. So right on the inside above the tire. see if I can close this up a little bit. Right there. And it's always super rusted, so it's always a chore to try and get off from there. Let's see if this one will work. Probably not deep enough. Of course not. So I'm going to need a deeper 10 millimeter. So I'll be back in just a moment with a deeper 10 millimeter socket. Alright, and almost got that bolt. That is what's underneath the 10 millimeter, and it was so rusted it snapped. So when I go to put it on, I'll figure out something for it, but at least the plastic's not broken like that side. So we'll figure that out when we get to it. Now, like I said, it's just a screw right there, which I have a screwdriver for right here somewhere, and then there's one on each side, and then there's some pins right there. Like I said, I've been learning, so it's a learning process, and I think this one was the correct one. Yep. Take this one out, just like so. Sorry for the squeaky, but it's what happens when you're in the state of Maine. And I got that container. Oh, it bounced straight out. For those, there's this one right here. And then, so we do have a set of plastic tools like that one that I actually got when Wish was popular. I got it off from there. A whole set of the little removers. And what I do is take a screwdriver, get it started some, and it kind of helps it for the remover to get in there when you start with that. But pop this in there, pull that out just like so. Those are very handy little tools right here, and they do have plastic ones for plastic of these tools. They're not as good, but they do work, and they're just as handy. What I try to do is I try to put the pin back in like so, and try and pull the top first, then the bottom, and I always keep them together. Huh?
He just vanished.
Oh, he just went inside.
Like...
He went inside real quick. Probably went in to get something. Yeah, I got a drone because... Alright, I got the mud flap off. I didn't want to bore you guys with seeing the same thing on the opposite side. Now I'm trying to get this bolt off without popping my hand in. Oh, there it went. It just pops right off instead. So there's that. Now can slip the whole bumper right off. Just like that. There it is. There's that bumper. Right there. There we go. Now we'll be putting this one on with the guards and everything. You can hear the duckies out there. There's Morty. So skipped a little bit of the process here. I got the bolts. I found some washers. I actually have some big washers on the inside. Got some small washers on the outside. And put the washers and nuts on. Now I gotta go find a 1/2 inch so I can be able to tighten them on really good, and then it will be all set to put the bumper back on. And we'll be able to have the tow hitch done and the bumper on. So let me go get that stuff and we'll be right back with you for the tow hitch. And when you're doing this, by the way, drop the spare tire. Helps a lot. Which, to drop the spare tire, you lift up underneath in the back. Down here is a little square thing. You take the stuff from your jack, put it on, twist it towards the front clockwise, it will drop it down. Counterclockwise, we'll lift it up. But drop the tire down will make it a lot easier to get those long bolts in and out. So I'll be back with you when I go and get the wrench. I don't have the super correct tool for putting these pins back in, so it's why I left them the way they put them back together for the main part, because I got what I got on me to put them back in. Is that part, and what I'm doing is just like that to set them back in, guys. It's just what I got right on hand. So putting the pins back in and the new bumper's on. There's that. This, if I can get this one to go in, it would be great. This one's being a little bit of a problem, so skip it to that one. There's that one. There we go. There's that one. Last one. And it just helped line that one up. I'll get this last one in and we'll be all done. And the ball hitch is on. There's that. This. There we go. Got that one to set down. Now put a little pin in. There we go. All set. All of it's back together. Only thing left for me to do is I have to put the mud flap and wheel well back on the driver's side, and then it will be all done. If I could get this out of here, it'd be great. Come on. Got this piece stuck. There we go. That's how to do swapping over the bumper and taking a rear tow hitch off from one Jeep to another Jeep. Swapping it from swapping bumpers and tow hitch. And Now I'm just going to put the mud flap back on, and then we'll be good to go. Which actually, that's supposed to go in there, so I just got to fix this little rubber piece to put it where it's supposed to go. There we go. Pop that right in there. And all set. There we go. It's got a little bit of bends there, but that's a lot better than the one over there with all of the cracks and breaks in it, like that were on this side. Like I said, this will get held in by the mud flap and wheel well, which I'll pop back in, and I'll put the little clips in to hold them and everything, because I got those right here, mud flap and wheel well. So, and then I gotta put the clips in on the other side. This one goes up in, like so. They're kind of a pain to put in, take out, because they're supposed to pop behind. There we go. Just like so. A little bit. Come on. If I could get it up in a good spot. Yeah, I have to do the screwdriver trick or whatever on this one. Again. There we go. Come on. This is the pain in the bottom part. Right there. There it is. Then it goes right back up in. I'll get it put right in place even better, and put the pins back on. That goes in there. That clips there. Come on. The hard part, getting it into these clips the right way. There we go. Just like that. And there we go. And the mud flap goes right there. So I just need a couple screws to put in there, and then we'll be all good. Yeah. Just a couple screws left and all done, and I won't bore you all with that. So hope you all enjoyed joining with the learning of putting a rear bumper, taking it off, and the ball hitch, and putting a new one and transferring it over to a different Jeep. And make sure you like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace. Alright, got the tools. I got a wrench to go on the back, got a ratchet for the front. Gotta tighten these down pretty good. There's that. I got those two already. Didn't want you guys to have to sit and watch through me tightening them down. All of them, so I did two. I'm showing you the last two. I think they're getting pretty tight there. Tight as I can. then I don't have to worry about them coming off at all. Yeah. Guys, definitely don't want them coming off. Anytime soon. I will be checking them periodically too. So there we go. There we go. The ball hitch is on. Now we pull the tire back up. And I'll show you guys that. There we go. Spare tire going back up. Like I said, clockwise to go down, counterclockwise to go up. It's actually pretty easy to turn for it. I should put a different spare on, different tire as a spare, but I'll get that a different time because I got to take it off from one of the other ones. So, starting to get a little bit more snug now. There we go. Should be. No. Caught up. Lower it down. I know, but if I can get this set on there, right? Come on. There we go. Trying to move stuff out of the way some. There we go. There it is, just like that. Come on. There we go. Getting there. Now it should go up easier. Do a couple turns. Make sure it's unjammed. A couple more turns. There we go. Now it's getting there. There it is. Spare tires back up. Now put those back. And it's always the kit that comes with the vehicle. Normally always have it with it. So always be mindful. Make sure if your vehicle has a spare underneath, make sure you have the kit that comes with it. because it's very important to have. It's a must-have with your vehicles when you purchase them, especially if you purchase them secondhand. Always take the time to make sure it's got the kit with it. There we go. Now I gotta fix this stuff. So this will go down. Actually, this kit does better when it's flattened out to go in the back here, especially with everything else that's in here. Because I got an extra toe strap in the back here that I keep at all times in the vehicle. There's that one. There's that one. And there we go. Now, what you doing, Papa? Good boys, what you doing? Put our fluids back in, like so. Containers with our extras that we need. Always keep a little shovel in there as well. Backpack, toolbox goes right in there. Which I'll put my tools back in, so leave that open. We got bucket with chain and gloves and stuff like that in it. That glove. Then we keep a adult size down sleeping bag, mummy style, for if we go camping or get stuck in the winter time. Now we got the winch, so now we won't have to worry so much about getting stuck as much. Tools. Probably not going to really need the tools to put the bumper back on, but they're there in case I do. And reusable shopping bags. Because now everywhere you go, you need reusable shopping bags. Unless you're going to pay for the paper. There we go. Then mini handheld chainsaw, so if we need a chainsaw at all, and steel toes. Alright, last step is to put the bumper back on. So I'll get to grabbing the bumper. That side's just a couple bolts. Here's the bumper. This one does not have the bumper sensors, so just trying to slip this guard up in is the hard part, because I took this one off. I took the guard, the little guard thing off with this one, so Oh. See if this will stay open now. Yeah. Yeah, we got it. Makes it a little bit easier. I'm gonna have to take those screws out. Good thing I kept my screwdriver, because for the mud flaps they put a couple screws in on it, so I gotta take those out real quick on this side so then I can get this off, and if I can get them to come loose, that would be why, and take the whole thing off. So I'm gonna have to give it a fight with it to get it up in there and around. Hi, Pop-Pops. What you doing, buds? Almost got it. There we go. Almost. Like that. Alright. Getting there. This one's got a little bit of stuff on it, but this one gonna be different or difficult. By it looks, it's just gonna be difficult. See if I can get these, get the tail light off. I've already taken tail lights off this once, so shouldn't be too hard to take off, because one of them didn't work. So with these ones, it's just a couple hex screws. There's that. Alright, show you guys what I'm dealing with here. I'll just get that for a moment. There we go. Let's set that in place. So all I needed was to really get that so it can line up. So I can put the bolts back in. Then I got those right in here somewhere. There's one. Now I can put the bolt back in here. If I can find where, just put the hex screw, the hex screwdriver thing, right there. that one started, then I'll know to line it up. There we go. There's that. Now I can put the tail light screws back in. Luckily I got the hex, the right one to fit the hex screws for this, so I can put them, use that when I need to. There's that. There we go. That's all in. Should be. Take that. There we go. Got it in there. There's that. This side's on. Now, go to the other side over here. Get this side on. Once get this side on, then we're done. I'm pouring some sweat now. Tell you that. Got half of it on. There's handy.
Can't step on you.
Yeah, pouring sweat, but getting in there.
When you get done, you want to go for a ride?
And there we go. That side's on. I got to put the screw in. To get the screw in. If I can find it in
I'll
here.
get it on the train or something.
Then I need to put the pins in across the back, and then it's going to be all done. All together. Actually, I still got to put the wheel well on this side, on the driver's side here. If I can find, there it is. Tighten these screws down when I get them in, and then I got to put the pins on, and so
Yeah.
there's that one. Then I got to tighten this one down, and then I got to put the pins in, and then it's done.